Hi everyone. How's everyone doing today? Everyone have a good weekend? I'm doing pretty good. I got something different to show you guys today. As you see from my title, and you may be aware of my schedule, I'm going over a video I made today, so that's going to be different. What's up guys, what's up Sonic, what's up DBZ? I'm doing pretty good, before we get started, I have a couple of small announcements. I have a new emote. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's me, Angie. Look at that. I drew it myself. I'm actually very happy how it came out. Yeah, I figured out better Twitch TV emotes. So now Cat Jam finally works. You have Cat Jam, you have Keck W, Monka S. I feel like I got all the classics. I got all the classic emotes. I have 4 more emote slots, so I've been I'm gonna be continually working on more emotes. Yeah, I got the Monka S, yes. I got some more emotes planned. I'm gonna replace my pixel laugh with the lol. Now it's gonna be like my face traced over it. I'm gonna have Cow Jam. I'm really looking forward to making these emotes. I was a little worried, honestly, with how my emote came out. Initially, I don't feel very confident in my art skills, believe it or not, despite my name being Confident Cow. But I think it came out well. I shouldn't have doubted myself. I should have been confident. So look forward to that in the future. I also have this tip jar over here to my right to fill up the space. I don't know if I like it a lot or not, but we'll see. But every time I get a follow or sub or anything that would fall into like a normal Twitch event list, like on the bottom right, that would fall into the tip jar. So it's pretty neat. I hope it works. It'd be kind of embarrassing if it didn't. I don't know if I'll keep it or not, but I wanted something to fill out this empty space I have to my right. But yeah, like that. Yeah, nailed it. Look at the cow go. Oh, I fell through. Thank you for gifting a sub, Sonic. Thank you for putting the cup to the test. Wait, holy shit! Oh, it was just 1 sub. You gifted 10 subs total. I thought you gifted 10 subs right now. Oh, thank you for the follow. Sorry, I didn't read that. The bouncing text is hard to read. Eravate. Please tell me if I said that incorrectly. I'm so sorry. I'm very bad at pronouncing names. But thank you for the follow, and thanks for joining the cattle. Just hopping by. Cool, cool. Hopefully you stick around. Because I have something a little different that I normally don't do. I normally just play games, you know? No worries with pronouncing? Alright, cool. Yeah, thank you for the sub, Sonic. Thank you. You gives the 10 subs so far. It's nuts. And the Sarakuga, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining the cattle. Welcome. I hope I pronounce your names correctly. Again, I'm sorry if I don't pronounce your names correctly. Feel free to tell me when I'm wrong. So yes, today I'm going to go over a video that I recently edited. In case you guys don't know, I'm a video editor. At my previous full-time job, I was graphic designer and video editor for the company. So I've done a lot of video editing in the past. And I did a video for this company I've been working for, a little small indie dev team called Yotes Games. And they're making a game called Gem Ponies. And it's a monster tamer RPG with ponies. Inspired by My Little Pony, but they're all original characters and such. And I've joined their team and I've been making videos and graphics for them. And recently I've made a video where we go over the combat formula and how we do calculations. And I spent the better part of a month working on it. It was a lot of time spent. Unfortunately, my YouTube channel, my personal Confident Cow YouTube channel, hasn't had too many videos uploaded recently. So I spent all of my time not streaming doing that video. And I think it came out really well. And the main head of Yotes Game suggested I do a stream where I go over how I made that video. And I thought it'd be really neat because I've never really seen a stream like that before. And in case you guys were ever curious about how the video editing process goes, I figured I'd go over that. Welcome, Nova. Thank you for joining my networking thread. I'd love to find you VTubers. You're welcome. Thanks for making the thread. I always appreciate when VTubers do that. I like not only like the opportunity of me posting in the thread and like people seeing my stuff, but I just also like going through the threads and meeting all these VTubers. Because there's so many exciting VTubers out there, and you know, it's kind of hard to find them. So those networking threads are great to meeting new people that have a similar interest in me. So thank you for making the thread. It's all good, Cal? Okay, good. Hope you've been having a great day. I'm having a good day. Thank you. Thank you for asking. How are you doing today? How's everyone in chat doing today? I'm gonna turn on my fan in my room real quick. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm going to pull up the YouTube video that I edited. It's about 8 minutes long, so you guys can check it out. And after that, I'll play in the background and briefly go over some things. And I think I'll pull up the video edited file myself and go through the details of how I made very specific effects to it. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. So let me turn on the fan real quick. Okay, there we go. It's hot. I like networking threads to meet new amazing people, but a lot are using them just for getting files as well. Yeah, it's very true. I don't know how often people look through those threads besides just the post, but I almost always look through all of them, and like, if I like the designs, I'll usually at least like their posts. But if I find them like interesting or they have like similar interests as I do, which is I think key for me, for someone that I would like to follow, I go ahead and follow them. So I do appreciate those threads a lot. Even if people sometimes are just looking out for themselves, but hey, I get to meet new people. Doing well, that's good, that's good. Had a very long day, a headache, but all I'm okay. I'll make sure you get some rest, drink some water, Sonic, and you know, hopefully this will be a nice chill stream. I won't be screaming or anything, so. I got addicted to following VTubers, which is half the reason why I participate in them. Yeah, same. Well, actually, it's kind of the opposite. I met a few VTubers, and then like I started really getting addicted to meeting so many new VTubers. I'm like, oh my god, there's so many out there. It's awesome. To make a post, I'll always go through all the profiles and support if possible. That's very good of you to do that. I've seen oftentimes, especially if they're a very big VTuber, they don't always go through them all, and then they'll just go through the sum of them. But that's very good of you. I know Nova Brush also did something similar, and she followed through and followed every single one of like, I don't know, I think there was 100 comments on that thread. So that's really awesome of you guys to do that. It says I found some cool peeps from some threads that have been. Yeah. That's why I've met quite a few of the VTubers I found. Sure did, I need more. You're addicted. Okay. More to follow. Oh, let me do this. So like I said, this is a video that I edited. I'll probably be quiet when we watch it the first time, so you guys can fully absorb this video I made. Oh yeah, we actually have captions, so I'll turn that on. I hope they're in English. They are. I hope these captions are correct. I was told they are correct, so welcome, Prowling, welcome. We're about to get started to the main event. So, like I said, this is a video where we talk about the RPG formula that Yotes Games came up with for our game Battle Gem Ponies, and it's a little complicated because we're talking about literal math. So hopefully we did a good job of breaking everything down, and I'm really proud of this video, like a lot, which is one of the reasons why I'm going over it. I spent the month working on it, and I think it came out great, and I hope you guys like it.
Combat is one of the most important aspects in an RPG. JRPGs, tactics, and monster tamers have combat calculations
Also, let me know if the audio is
that are tailored
good.
to feel right for their game. So when it came to our own project, Battle Gem Ponies, how did we construct the combat formula? Battle Gem Ponies has been played by thousands of people. We were able to watch people play the game at conventions and see where they got stuck, what they found challenging, and where they thought that battle could be improved. After seeing users play the game, we decided more dramatic changes were needed. Here at Yotes Games, we spent countless hours researching, implementing, and testing to find the ideal formula for Battle Gem Ponies, and we wanted to share our findings with you. Full disclaimer, there's going to be a lot of math, but we'll be breaking it down as simply as possible. We've done research into various RPGs to better understand what is effective. There are many methods of calculating damage, but we will cover the 3 common methods we found. The formulas we are about to cover are stripped down to its basics. There may be some details left out for ease of understanding. We will be using the variables attack, which refers to the character's attack stat, which can be anything from strength to magic, power, which refers to a move or equipment stat, defense, which refers to an opposing character's defensive stat, and damage, which is the total amount of damage that the attack will do. The first method is a subtraction-based method, where the damage is equal to the attack, plus the move power, minus the defense. This method works well with combat systems that use small numbers. The subtraction method can be found in games such as Paper Mario and Fire Emblem, or even your favorite card game. For example, in Fire Emblem Three Houses, the damage formula is character strength plus weapon might minus enemy defense. The second method is a ratio method, where the base damage and the defense ratio are calculated separately. These 2 values are multiplied together to get the final result. Games that advance quickly from early to late game, or where attack and defense are scaled inconsistently, can benefit from using this method. The best examples are used in League of Legends, Dota, and Pokemon Unite. For example, Pokemon Unite's method has complicated formulas for both the attack damage and the defense ratio. The attack damage is the Pokemon's attack formula, plus the move power formula. The defense ratio is 600 divided by 600 plus the defense. These 2 values are multiplied together to get the final result. This formula may look different than the ratio method at first glance, but the formula is still calculating its attack damage using the attack stat and POW separately from the defense ratio. The third and final method is a division method, where the attack is divided by the defense and multiplied by the power. The division method allows for the attack and defense to be used to scale damage, higher or lower, and works well with large numbers. Games such as Pokemon and Final Fantasy generally use this method. These are the most common methods, but there are many more methods out there. Some games have a unique spin on calculating damage. The Battle Gem Ponies combat system has evolved quite a bit since the early days. One of the most dramatic changes being to the battle calculations, where damage and health play a crucial role. Our old formula was using the subtraction method. This caused the damage to feel polarized. You either did way too little damage or way too much damage. Mix that with arbitrary move powers and arbitrary stats, and you will have ponies feeling too strong. When making changes to address the strong feeling, it was difficult to understand if we should change a move's POW, pony stats, or the calculations in general. The formula also did not account for game progression. How you felt at the beginning of the game was the same as how you felt at the end of the game. The first step was to change the battle formula to one that could scale with stats. So we updated our subtraction-based formula to use the division-based method. Using a division-based formula allows for damage to stay consistent as attack and defense change. We then scaled the damage based on level. This allows for the same move to do varying levels of damage at the beginning, middle, and end of the game. We can see the attack, defense, and POW, but where do these other numbers come from? To begin to answer this question, we need to define certain expectations within battle. A battle that ends too quickly feels like a waste of time, while a battle that takes too long feels like a grind. We need the flexibility to be able to control the number of turns until KO. So building out the relationship between our move's POW and damage is the key to getting this timing down. From there, we can mess with a number of factors to affect the golden turns until KO number we're after. This led us to a formula where max health divided by damage equals the number of turns. For example, if we figure out a combination that averages a 33% damage output, we then know that attack under those circumstances will lead to a 3-turn round. For Battle Gem Ponies, we started with this statement. For a pony using a move with POW of 50, attacking a pony where the attack is equal to the defense, and there are no buffs, debuffs, or any other stat-changing effects, then the damage should be roughly 10% of their health. Once the expectations are defined, we then need a control or a scenario where we can replicate them. To help us with that, meet Ponitina.
I'm very proud of that part.
Ponitina is our Ryu,
that took a
our
long
Mario,
time.
Tracer, the base pony that the others are balanced off of. Ponitina is of neutral typing, which means she won't receive elemental advantages or disadvantages. Ponitina also has equal stats across the board, so the attack will equal the defense. From here, we will start a trial and error process. We will begin to configure a battle with Ponitina versus Ponitina, and we will use a move with a POW of 50. If the damage was higher than 10%, then we decrease these numbers. If the damage was lower, then we increase these numbers until the result matched our expectations. Once the damage was around our liking, we were able to test the other factors of battle. We would introduce each factor into the control and see how it affects the damage output. If the numbers were not as expected, then we could be confident that the specific factor needs to change and not the calculation formula. If a move was doing too much damage with our control, then we know the move's POW needs to change. If the move was doing too much damage with a specific pony, then we know we need to decrease the pony's attack or increase the defending pony's defense. The factors that affect damage output in Battle Gem Ponies are Ace, a bonus for when move type matches the attacker's type, class matchup, elemental advantages or disadvantages, critical hits where a random chance allows you to deal more damage as if you hit a vital area, maladies or bad status conditions which lower stats, weather advantages for certain types may increase or decrease damage, battle equips may affect damage output, and states that have a variety of effects. There are mechanics outside of battle calculations that will affect damage as well. For example, level up systems like ours have additional features that affect damage. In Battle Gem Ponies, with each level, the player chooses a category to give an extra boost to. It can be either health points, gem power, or bonus values. With HP and BV modifying stats that affect damage output, they have to be considered when it comes to balancing. To do this, we tested around level 50 where we had 50 points to equally distribute into the HP, GP, and BV stats. If a player distributes these points differently, then their damage output will be different than our testing. So we'll need to account for the most extreme scenarios and make sure battles are still fun even with those handicaps and boosters. With this change from a subtraction-based method to a division-based method, you will see a vast difference between the old method's damage and the new method's damage. Changes like this bring us closer to our vision for Battle Gem Ponies, and we're excited to continue improving the game. Although changes will be made to our battle system throughout development, the core equation will be kept mostly the same. If you want to see this battle formula in action, go play the demo right now on itch or Game.
Right now.
Links will be in the description below. And feel free to share your thoughts on this combat formula of ours, or any interesting RPG math you've seen in your favorite game. You can comment below or join our community Discord, where the Battle Gem Ponies team is always hanging out. Thanks for indulging me on this mathematical adventure. This has been Sayaryu, lead programmer of the BGP team. Have fun and peace out.
Alright. Hopefully you guys liked it, because I put a lot of effort into it. Is there an easy way to make this on loop? I'll just hit play again. Okay, so...
Combat is one of the most
mute.
important.
So this video, like I said, this took about a month to make. We spent about, I would say, a week to a week and a half coming up with a script for it. So there was 3 of us making this video, essentially. I'm the video editor, and we have the main game director, the guy behind Yotes Games. His name is Tony Yotes. and we have the lead programmer, Saaru, who he is the lead programmer, and he wrote the main script of this, and who, of course, came up with the idea of using this mathematical formula in the first place. Great workout, super professional. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad all of my experience and my boring past job that I made, I'm actually able to put it to something I care about. The past job I had, I really didn't like the kinds of things I was working on as much as I like editing videos. I couldn't really care for the types of things that we were doing. So to put video editing skills into like a video game video is like 1,000 times more interesting and so much more enjoyable. So even though this was a lot of work, and sometimes it was a pain in the butt, it was overall like a really enjoyable experience. Agreed, very clean, makes it super easy to follow along. Oh, that's good to hear, actually, because like, it's hard because this is, like I said, this is like a pretty complicated topic. So on top of coming up with the script to make it as easy to understand as possible, I had to put in a lot of work to make it visually as easy to understand as possible. Because there were certain parts in this video I did like in a sense last second changes for, because I felt like I wasn't doing a good enough job showing the things that we were talking about. So we spent about a week and a half coming up with a script. Saaru, the lead developer, he came up with the initial draft of the script and what he basically wanted to say. And Tony and we went into the script and we edited it. And there's a lot of back and forth between all three of us about how we wanted to convey everything. Is he a cool person? Yeah, Tony Oz is a cool person, Saaru. He's really cool. He's really cool. That Saaru guy, though, I don't know. I don't know about him. Welcome, Sai. Now that I'm here, you can verify, or now that you're here, you can verify if anything I say is wrong, or you can add any input if you would like. So yeah, Saaru there is the lead programmer behind this project, and so he came up with originals draft. And we spent a lot of time back and forth editing it, making sure that it was as clear as possible. And that took about a week and a half. Followed by there was a couple of different days where we had to re-record the voice lines for this. So when we came up with the script, first of all, we also wrote down every ideas that we wanted for the B-roll. So the main footage that you end up seeing. And there was a lot of input from everyone on that. And after we did that, the next step was to record the voices. I prefer editing my video after we get the audio because I like to time the video to the audio. It's hard for me to like make the video, and this happens a few times because I had to re-edit the video several times. Where like if I have footage there and then we get audio, I have to edit it again. So it's the less times I have to edit, the better. The less messy it gets, essentially. So we spent a few different recording sessions recording with Sai the audio, and you would think it wouldn't be too hard to do so, but Sai was having a little bit of a hard time recording it because he just didn't sound natural. And I don't know if you've guys done this before, but if you ever record yourself reading a script, it almost always sounds like you're reading from a script. And it's really hard not to. That's why there's actors that get paid for this, right? So it's very difficult, believe it or not. And there were some issues where Sai was sounding too much like a teacher voice, is the way Tony had put it. And he would just sound like a teacher, and his voice would go higher than it's supposed to. So there was a lot of directing between me and Tony on how to get Sai to say the lines correctly. By the end, Sai got it, so hopefully future videos, that part should take a lot less time. But yeah, that was a whole like other struggle, to be honest. Excuse me. And while we were doing that, some lines sounded awkward, so we had to re-edit the script and then re-record some lines and such. So that was a whole process. So all these like about 2 weeks worth of preparation before I actually even started editing the video. But yeah, I gotta head off, but hope you still have an amazing stream, and the video looks absolutely stunning. Good work. Thank you so much, and thank you again for stopping by, and thank you for the follow. I hope I see you again soon. But yes, so that was like all the pre-production essentially before we got to doing this. Sorry, you weren't following before? I am insulted. You've known me for how long? You've been on this stream before! And you played Smash with me, and you're only following now? Yeah, you subscribed before you followed! I didn't even know that was possible. Actually, no, wait, I did learn. I found out recently. Someone did that. Someone subbed, and then they didn't follow until after that. Anyways, thank you for the follow. Joining the cattle. So yes, all of the effort in pre-production, and finally we get to the production of it. Where do I want to start with that? Let's see. So it took quite a bit of time to actually get a lot of footage for games. There was a lot of footage of video games, like if you wanted to get off of YouTube, that have watermarks at the bottom right, and it was really annoying to find videos that didn't have that. Even though I do own most of these games, actually, it would be hard to find good footage because some of them I don't have save data for, or it would just take a lot of time. So that's what I did to get some of the footage. Of course, all the footage of the game that we're making, I recorded myself, and that took time. Let's see. I'm gonna go over the big sections, the cool, interesting stuff I think that you might be curious about, like this and the other Smash section. So for this section, here I'll play it one more time. The challenger approaching.
In testing to find the ideal formula for Battle Gem Ponies, and we wanted to share our findings with you. Full disclaimer, there's going to be a lot of math, but we'll be breaking it down as simply as possible.
Okay, so this thing actually didn't take too long personally. The hard part was finding certain things. I actually made this whole thing myself. This, and along with the other section where it shows Ponatina doing the Smash Ultimate thing. Over here. I actually made those effects myself. There are some like templates out there that already exist, but none of them are very accurate, essentially. Like, you might look at it at a glance, you're like, oh, that seems about right. Oh, but it's not. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So freaking the first thing I did was went into Google Images, and there's a lot. So first of all, I had to find out which was real. Like, initially I'm like, oh, this seems right, but it wasn't. And then there's all these fake ones, of course, because it's a really popular thing to do. So what I did was I actually freaking watched this video in particular. I watched this and studied it several times and to see how they do it. So even though this thing is on screen for like 5 seconds, I put a lot of effort into it to make it as accurate as possible. So the way everything appears in is like basically as accurate as I could do it. Please play. So the white flash in the background, the wheel coming in. Freaking, I made the warning symbol spin, even though I didn't actually have to do that. Like, you would think, oh, that's good enough. But I actually went ahead and made it spin and made everything appear. I even made the background rotate. I found the background, this spiral image right here. I forgot how I found it. I think I probably scrolled far enough and eventually came across it. But I found that background screen and I actually went
Share
ahead
findings with you.
and I animated it. You might not
Full
even notice
disclaimer,
it because
there's
it's so
going to be a
subtle,
lot
but
of
like the
math, but we'll
background
be
is
breaking it
actually
down as simply
animating
as
with it.
possible.
So I do have my project file, so I'll show you bits and pieces of it. Hopefully my computer doesn't crash. This is an intensive program. So actually I realized I didn't mention this. The video editing software that I use is called DaVinci Resolve. It's a free program. You can buy like the professional version, and it has other features, but it's a free program and it's actually like legit. It's a huge step up from freaking Windows Media Player back in the day. Before this, when I was working my old job, I was doing I was using Adobe Premiere, and that program is still probably better. It's definitely easier to use, I think, and more reliable. I found DaVinci Resolve crashes a lot on me and slowdowns a lot, like a lot. So I think Premiere is better, but DaVinci is free, and I like free, so that's what I did. Yeah, take some notes, Prowling. You might learn a thing or two. If you guys have any questions, again, please feel free to ask. What you got against Movie Maker? You know, it's bare bones, to put it lightly. I haven't used actually any other video editing software. I haven't tried Vegas. There's another one. I don't own a Mac, and I've never owned a Mac, so I've never tried what's the program called? Shoot. Final Cut. Yeah, Final Cut Pro. I've never used it. So I've been using DaVinci Resolve, and that's what I use. Confident is a type of cow that needs more meat on his MIDI editors. Yes. It's DaVinci has like a lot of features, surprisingly. Wait, hold on. Let me. Give me 1 second. There we go. Okay. So this is a project file. If I zoom out all the way, I have a lot of stuff. There's a lot of layers. So this first part that we're doing here, so I edited sliding in. I used some of them I used transitions for, some of them I used keyframes to animate it, and so I made it spin, animate it, light up, and everything like that. For the background effect, I went through a bunch of these video effects here, these filters. There's a lot of them, which is really nice. Premiere doesn't have this much, or if they do, it's kind of hidden. So I actually really appreciate the amount of filters and transitions and video effects this thing has. The only problem I've encountered with using them is sometimes they don't have enough options to edit. So you would have to use this, I think it's called Fusion section to edit them, and that kind of goes like above my head. It uses a different approach than, like, for example, Adobe After Effects does, which I also have experience using in. Not a whole lot, but the way Adobe After Effects handles their UI is completely different than the way DaVinci Fusion does, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, for this cool warp effect that I really like how it came out, I used this vortex effect. And basically what is actually happening, it's warping the background. So it makes it look like it's spinning, but it's actually technically not. It looks really cool. I like how this came out. I had to edit the text at the bottom left here. Such magic results. Nice work, Hal. Thanks, Yotes. I'm glad you liked it. Freaking, I busted my balls on this thing. Also, welcome. So yeah, that's essentially how it did it. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 moving parts. Each part is different. And yeah, I for the background swirls, I actually did, well, yeah, the background, I took an image off of the internet that is the melee background, and this border I had to edit a lot to get it right. It also doesn't help that melee is 4:9 ratio, so technically this was like a square before, so I had to make it 16:9. So that took some time. But yeah, that was that. Yeah, I talked a lot about the voice lines. We recorded several takes, and I had to put them all together. I had to take my best judgment on what sounded the best. And after that, I had to do a lot of volume adjusting because sometimes I could hear the difference, and I can still hear the difference. Sometimes Sai was talking closer or further away from the mic than he was in other takes, and usually you probably wouldn't even notice that. But I had to basically adjust the volume to a lot of these. So like this one is 8 volume higher than normal, and this one's 10. Like I had to do that a lot with these and adjusting the volume. And I adjust the volume of the music a lot as well. I think it's like negative 25. The music is very loud. But yes, that was this whole section. Like I said, this DaVinci has a lot of really cool tools, and in the title section with the text, there's a lot of really neat ones. Like I said, it's also kind of a pain because a lot of them can't be edited very much. You don't have too many options. But with this section, I actually just kind of took one of the default ones. I really like how this one looks. Throughout the video, I did this very common thing, and I noticed a lot of YouTube videos do this, so I'm like, well, that's a really cool visual way of doing things. So the background dims and it blurs, and those are just basic effects that DaVinci has over here. And I added keyframes for them fading in and fading out. I use this effect a lot, and it's a really, really good effect to have if you want text on screen like this, but also have something visual interesting in the background. It's so much better than having like just text on the screen with an image, then it looks like a PowerPoint. Or like half it being title or half being video. Like this method works really well. Sometimes though it can be a pain in the butt because if the background is too confusing or too much going on, I'll have to dim it more than others or blur it more. But I essentially use this effect like all over the video. You probably noticed that. Let's see. Then I use this effect a lot. The highlighting square thing I do. I don't know what to call it. I'm sure there's a cool word for it. But this was something very cheeky I did. So initially I had this as a title for these sections. Let me go to one. Right here. So initially I didn't have this cool subtraction method title down here with a little logo. Before I had one of these titles. Let's see if I can find it real quick without taking too much time. Wait, actually I can just look at this. This one? No, this one. It doesn't say. There is a lot of these. Damn. Okay. So I used a title, and essentially it did what this does over here. It would basically appear like this, and then text would fade into the box. And that was one thing I used for the title initially. I'm like, that's a pretty cool looking title that I can throw up there. And then there were certain sections a lot towards the middle and end of the video where we're talking about very specific things. Let's see, good example. Like here, when I highlight the damage. Initially what I did was, let me hide this right here. No, this one. Isn't that how you hide it? Oh, this locks it. This is the button I'm looking for. initially what I did was I did the background dark blur thing that I mentioned earlier. And then I duplicate the video and I crop out the blur in the background, so it's just like the normal video here. And I was like, this is normally pretty good. But there were certain instances of the video where without it, you might have missed the thing that I'm trying to highlight. So when I had this title box, this fusion title, I was like, what if I applied that effect, that highlighting effect, over these sections? And so what I did was I took that effect and I put just a text. The letter just happened to be F, so I just consistently used F. And it makes the the box bigger like that. And I would increase the size. And then I did what is called, yeah, here. I did a matte effect. Ah! DaVinci takes up a lot of resources, so sorry if my computer lags, the stream lags. Yes, I use what's called a chroma keyer, and it's like a green screen type thing. So I would color the text a certain color, and then I would basically quote unquote green screen out the letters inside the box to get the effect. It was a very jerry-rigged way of doing things, but it was very useful for highlighting certain parts of the video. Also, hi Tiger, welcome. Glad you can make it. Congrats on your free sub that Sonic was so gracious to give out. I'm going over a video I made. There's a lot to it. But yes, I use this effect a lot throughout the video, and I thought it was a very good way of highlighting certain things. In particular with Ponatina, where is she? This is what kind of kicked it off. Here, I hope this actually comes across well the first time you see the video. And I fade in, and you see we talk about the fact that she's a neutral typing, a neutral class. And then Sai goes into detail, and he says that means she doesn't have any advantages or disadvantages. So I highlight the weaknesses over here. So that way, first of all, you can follow along with what he's saying, but without the highlighting blue text there, it's so easy to miss it. So actually, that's like kind of what really made me want to use it like all over the video. It was very useful. That's a clever way to make it work. Yeah, it was interesting, but I think it worked out really well. I need to drink some freaking water. I've been talking a lot. So yeah, those are two very common effects that I used throughout this video. At first, I thought I might have been overusing it, but Yoth suggested like, just keep on using it. What are they gonna do? Get tired of visually interesting things on screen? I'm like, well, that's a fair point. Oh, posture check. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you. I have terrible posture. You know what? I should have music playing. Give me a second. How do I? There we go. Don't we all? You think you get used to sitting down at a chair for several hours a day. But we all do it wrong so often. That's true, the quote from me, I mean. But yes. I use that effect a lot. So, we'll go over here to the beginning. But yes, that was a big trick and hurdle of mine with this video in particular compared to anything else I've ever done. It's because this video is complicated. We go over math, and a lot of people don't like math. Or if people do like math, they might want to better understand what we're doing. So I had to constantly use visuals to match the audio, and I would do it very often to time it. And that made things kind of tricky because Sai, he doesn't talk fast, but he doesn't talk slow either. So I had to make sure everything was timed properly. Real men squat for 8 hours straight. You think sitting down on a chair, you guys sit down in a chair for like 8 hours a day, working at an office, like, you think you do it right, but often we do it so wrong. But yeah, I use those effects all over the place. I made sure to be consistent with my colors. We went through a couple of like minor iterations on the text color. Ooh, stream lagged. That scared me. Hopefully my stream is mostly fine. Oh, I bet you know what it is. Playing music? Here, actually, I might have to pause it. Chrome? Or, I guess just Edge as well. Both Chrome and Edge take up a lot of RAM. So, every time I stream, I have to make sure I have as little tabs as possible so my streams don't lag. Right now, it's even lagging a lot because DaVinci is such a big program. So I guess no music. It's killer. I've massaged so many people who have desk jobs and every one of them have terrible back pain. Yeah, I have to try to be as conscious as possible with my posture, and I'm really bad at it. I really am. I think it's not hydrate though a lot. But yes, so we went back and forth with the colors a couple of times. I made sure the colors were consistent as much as possible. So every time we use these 4 variables, damage, attack, power, and defense, they always are the same colors. That way you always remember what they are. I guess it's just a common teacher thing more than anything. But people learn best when they have a visual cue and an audio cue. So I had to use as many visuals as possible. There's devices you can buy that you strap on your back to fix that. That sounds weird. What do you mean by that? Like, does it like strap you to the chair like you're in a freaking rocket or something? What do you mean by devices that do that? One is like a spider that pulls your back. That sounds like a torture device. What was the thing that beeps when you're sitting wrong so it's annoying? That sounds useful until I smash the device. like I've heard that there's alarm clocks that you can set and it'll like jump off the desk and go across the room, and I feel like I would just end up breaking that kind of device before it becomes useful to me. Let's see. I wanted to say something else about this section. Okay, so I guess when we were making this video, as every video you would expect, there are multiple iterations of it. And, like at one point, we were kind of done with the video. Like, we had, we changed the script a couple of times, like I mentioned before. And at one point, we were like kind of done with the video, and we were like, we need a test subject. We need someone to look at this and give us like good feedback. And Sai's roommate, he is very good at giving feedback. Very good. He's very good into putting things into words. Like sometimes we might know something is off, but he could put it like into words, for example. So there's actually this whole beginning section got restructured. And a New York accent too, yeah. This whole beginning section got restructured a bit and ended up flowing a lot better. A lot of YouTube videos, yikes. A lot of YouTube videos, when they have an introduction, I don't know if you guys have probably seen this before. They'll have an introduction and it's long as hell, and you're like, okay, get to the point. We had the opposite problem with our video, where we kind of just dive right in to like the subject. And we still had the brief like hook that we had here where we talk about RPGs, but then we just kind of go straight into things. And for him, it was like too much. You just kind of get thrown into the pool. So we added a little bit more to the intro just to better prepare the audience and what they're getting into. And that turned out to be a really good call. I really liked how that turned out. It also helped because initially it kind of, during the scripting phase, we kind of went back and forth about how we wanted the video to go. And Sai had more of the idea of we should be be more general about combat formulas and how RPGs do things differently, and then this is how we do it. And Yotes wanted to be more focused on the Battle Gem Ponies part, since that is the game we're making, and that is the purpose we even dove into this topic in the first place. Because of that, the beginning was more focused on the other RPGs, and then like the second half is when we talk about our formula. We didn't have like enough video footage about our game essentially, so we put more of that, and we took that part from the end and we brought it to the front. And that really helped out the flow of the video. There's so many YouTube videos that have these long intros, and I hate it when they do that. And I'm like, get to the point. Well, we made sure our intro was like as brief as possible, but not too brief apparently, which was an issue we had. And we put that at the beginning. It turned out to be really good for the video, I think. You get to see more of the game that we're talking about ahead of time, and you have a better understanding of what you're getting into. Just a side note, you can check it out later, but I threw a link into your suggestions, might help out. Alright, cool. Thank you, Tiger. So we let our ponies do the talking for us, and we battle to see who would supreme as video overload. What was the process behind choosing the specific footage to use from the game, aside from the parts being used as examples? Well, initially, a lot of the footage we got, when we first made the trailer for the game, I took a bunch of different footage of different ponies, and when I make the Kickstarter video and the Kickstarter trailer that we used to advertise like everywhere, back in August, I made sure to take footage of every single pony. Right now the game has 12, I believe it's 12, or is it 14? 14, I think it's 14. We have 14 ponies implemented into the game right now, so I made sure to grab footage of every single one. And every time I recorded the footage of them, I made sure it was in a different environment. And the second time around, I ended up using a little bit too much of that old footage, and this was feedback from Tony that like we keep on seeing the same footage again. So what I did was I recorded more footage, and I went with that same philosophy of using different ponies and using them on different stages. And since we have chromas, which is the shiny Pokemon shiny equivalent, I started using those as well to help differentiate all of the footage to make it as varied as possible, to make it look like as much. There is a lot of content in this game, so to show that, I recorded as much footage as I could. A lot of the time, the beginning was kind of like B-roll footage, and the end of the video is essentially bits of the Kickstarter trailer, because this is all B-roll. The words that Sai is saying doesn't really need specific footage to illustrate, so I just used the trailer because it's visually interesting footage. So that happened in the beginning and the end of the video. As for the other parts, it definitely, like as you would expect, it depended on what we were talking about. But almost every footage I use is relevant, even if like you're not really thinking about it. Like, where is this example where we're not doing much? Here is a good example. Here, I'll play. Hopefully it doesn't lag. It probably will.
We need to define certain expectations within battle. A battle that ends too quickly feels like a waste of time, while a battle that takes too long feels like a grind.
Like, there's nothing actually happening here, and I'm not doing anything visual, especially since you've already got this visual overload from earlier, and then about 10 seconds later, there's more of the formula. He's talking about battles ending too quickly, so I actually showed an instance of where I was playing the game and I'm just recording, and I get one shot. And then of course the problem of ponies being too tanky. That one wasn't too hard, especially since we knew ahead of time what the specific problem ponies were. Ponybot was a big problem pony because she was so tanky. So it was pretty easy to find an instance and go back to an older build of the game and show how like resistant she was. As for like the other games, I started with Paper Mario just because I like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. But I thought like in terms of like RPGs, like a really, really popular one was Paper Mario. So that's why I decided to lead the video with Paper Mario. Like, I even saw earlier, I think it was Sonic. Someone was like, yeah, Paper Mario. And I'm like, yeah, see, that's exactly why I start the video with that. But yeah, a lot of the footage was also just like it matched the game we're talking about. We talk about Paper Mario. I'll bring up Thousand Year Door because Thousand Year Door is GOAT, like Yote said. Fire Emblem Three Houses, that was the example, so we used it. Etc. etc. For Final Fantasy, I chose Final Fantasy X just because I played Final Fantasy X for the first time this year and I really like it. Hopefully that answered your question. Let's see. I also chose in this. Thanks for these. You're welcome. You're welcome. This beginning instance, I chose Simber because, yeah, I got the nodders working. I chose Simber because Simber and Xenor, he's here somewhere. Oh yeah, he's the first one we show. I chose these two at the beginning because that's what we use for our intro trailer, or the intro part of our Kickstarter trailer, and it's also the same. It's like the face, essentially, of our game. There's essentially three faces, really. It's Xenor and it's Simber. You have your fire bright red and then your dark cool Xenor. Which are good picks by Tony. Those are some of the first ponies he designed. So first thing I show is them to follow the same method, and it's the same reason why I chose Simber here. You know? What else? What else that I want to talk about? I guess we go section by section. So I didn't know that we were going to have subtitles for this, and if I knew that ahead of time, I would have. It's honestly not that big of a deal. I would move these headers down here, the subtraction method, the division method, etc., and put at the top of the screen. I liked it at the bottom because it was kind of out of the way of every other thing I do. But with subtitles, it became hard to see, and that was evident after watching it this time. These were also last second additions. We already had these titles. But I changed how they looked. That way, when we over here, which was something I thought of after the fact, when we talk about our old formula, where is it? Oh, my image isn't here. That's weird. Oh, it's because I hit it. Or not? Why is you showing up, subtract method? Your file is right here. Interesting. We talked about this method, the old formula. So I kept the subtraction method title here to show that this is what we're talking about. And by making them different colors, it made it easier, again, for your brain to associate. Hey, earlier we were talking about the subtraction method. That was that bright orange section over here, in case you forgot, with the minus sign. I did it again over here. And same with the division method. So that was a constant theme throughout. I used colors. They might be bright, and they might not technically look the most professional, But the consistency really helps you remember the specific parts of the video. But yeah, this is all kind of B-roll. We had to have Sai explain these methods because so here's the thing about these three methods. Like, these aren't like concrete rules, right? These are just different formulas and calculations that games use. And we had to have Sai like break it down as much as possible to get the point across. So that was kind of fun and interesting. And with the ratio method in particular, we also came up with these names. Like, these names are completely made up in a sense, but it gets the point across, right? You know, the subtraction method is just basically plus and minus. And the division method, the attack and the defense are divided, so we just call it division. The ratio one, we kind of went back and forth on what to call it. But the ratio, it's literally about the defense ratio being multiplied separately from the attack. So we had to come up with a cool name for it. I like the names that we ended up coming from. They're pretty cool. We're setting a standard. You know, hopefully this becomes a standard, to be honest. Like, hopefully when people search for combat formulas, which is one of our main goals, that they'll stumble upon this video and learn something new. Because when Sai was researching this material, there aren't many videos on this topic, and none that are like professionally made. So that was a big motivating factor for us. We're like, hey, we found this information. Wouldn't it be cool if people like had a video to see it and talk about it? So we found that it'd be really useful. And we had to come up with these names and such for these things. And here we go. This part. So for Pokemon Unite, it's another MOBA, and we had to find the formula for this. And it was a pain in the butt to do. But essentially, what we ended up doing, it was mostly Sai. He found a spreadsheet of someone, or a group of people, I don't know too much about the spreadsheet, that had combat calculators for every individual Pokemon in the game and every move that they do and how they do it. Yes, that document. And you can click through it. Here, you know what? I'm gonna click through it. Give me a second. We're the third result when you search for combat formula. Ooh, that's neat. This is why I'm glad I didn't show my screen. Let's report the other two so they get taken down. Okay. Now I can show it to you. Okay, so this whole calculator. So it obviously Pokemon, the devs of Pokemon Unite are not gonna just throw out their freaking combat formula and what they use for the code out there. So people found it themselves. And this is also really helpful because if you've played Pokemon Unite, when they do the patch notes, they are not very specific on how they change characters. Like, they'll say, oh, Greninja's Water Shuriken now deals less damage. Like, that's it. And so, thankfully, people have data mined it and found these things themselves. However, in here, I don't know how they did it, but they don't have the formula, but they do have how they calculate the damage and such. So, is it this sheet in particular that they use? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. We had to go through all this and interpret what the heck all of this says. Sai went through it really. I started going through it and it kind of went over my head, and oh my god, that is a lot of bits. Thank you, Honora, for cheering 24 bits. Welcome, Honora. How's it going? Moo for me? Oh, I see. You redeemed a moo. Moo. The other sheets show relevant data. Yeah, so this whole sheet has a lot of stuff in here. And Sai went through this whole thing and figured out essentially how the formula is breaking down. We went and it was very vague about how they went it down without literally writing down the names or the numbers. And we broke it down as simple as possible to show in the video, hey, this is how they do it. They have attack, that's calculated separately, and they have the power, and the power has its own scaling, and the level has its own scaling. It's really complicated, but we try to break it down as simple as possible. So that was a whole fun and 2-hour adventure. Honora, thank you again for the cheer. Okay, I have chat to catch up on. Nintendo and detailed updates. Name a less iconic duo. Yeah, exactly. However, after going through that, I now understand why they're kind of vague with Pokemon Unite, because technically, since they have level scaling differently for each like move, it's weird. They'd have to break it down into detail about how each different level, their moves deal different damage. It's freaking weird. I don't understand why they do it, but yeah, that was a whole endeavor. Man, buff nerds without actual numbers being provided from the devs is infuriating. Yes, it really is. Thankfully, Smash Ultimate got better with that over time. Sonic, thank you so much for the cheer. 99 make it rain on the bucket. It didn't do it. I guess it only showed the 1-bit cheer. I think it's. Oh, I think I know how it works. If you post emotes in your donation message, it'll put all of your emotes in the donation. Yeah, that's how it works. It's not like they'll put 99 bits. Because if someone were to donate 1,000 bits, I think the whole entire program would crash. Sorry, Sonic. Sorry about that. But yeah, the thing next to me is a tip jar. I wanted something to fill out the space, and I think it does a pretty good job. I hope you guys like it. There it is. There's 4 more. Nailed it. Thank you, Honor, for the cheer again. Thank you guys so much for all the cheers. You need a soundboard with a variety of expressive moves. Oh, it's like Diablo 2, where they got the cast to do moves. Thank you, Sai, for the cheer. For the 100 biddies. I'm on my way to bed, but I wanted to stop by. Thank you, Honor, for stopping by. Hope you have a great stream, Cal. Thank you. I hope you feel better tonight. Hopefully after you take some more rest tonight, tomorrow you'll feel better. Sonic, thank you for the 1 cheer. Hype train? Oh my god, is a hype train close? Oh my god, a hype train is close. Oh my god. Thank you, guys. I need to drink water. Hype train? You guys are close, I guess. I don't know how close. Oh my god. Thank you, Honora, for more cheers. Thank you, everyone, for your cheers. Sai, Growling, Sonic. So many coins, so many biddies. Look at it go. I think it resets after a certain point, but I don't remember what the reset number is. Tiger, oh my god, thank you so much, Tiger, for the gifted subs. 5 gifted subs. Oh my god, thank you so much, Tiger. Do we have a hype train now? I can't see the top. It's covering it. Oh my god, we have a hype train. Yeah, thank you so much. I greatly appreciate it, guys. More biddies! The cup at the bottom is almost full. One at a time, here they come. Hype, hype. Yeah, let me try to play music again and hope my computer doesn't die. Play. It's not playing. Oh, there it is. Oh my god, so many cheers and bits. Yay, thank you so much for the hype train. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. So many coins. Oh my god, okay. We got Sonic with 56 bits, and Sai with another bit, and Vino with a nice 69 biddies. Honora with 30, and Prowling with 10, and Sai with 1, and Honora with 24, and Sai with 1, and Honora with 7, and Azor with 5 gifted subs. Oh my god. Thank you. Woo! We did it. Thank you guys so much for all the love. Level 2 completed. It doesn't stop. My green cow is so happy. He won't stop hopping. Oh my god, another 44 bits. Thank you guys so much. My bucket is overflowing. Jeez. Maybe I need a bigger bucket. I'm glad you guys are having fun with this bucket. When I was looking through the different options for bits, I stumbled upon this one. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I definitely need to do it. My milk bucket is full now. Yeah, it's not full of milk. It's full of biddies, full of cash money. I wonder if I should change how these look. Oh my god, I'm level 4 hype train. Holy shit, I had no idea. Thank you guys. How many bits can we fit into that cup? I don't know. You guys are trying to find out, it seems like, because it doesn't stop. You know, I'm very glad I chose a very simple Mario coin noise for this, for the bits. Although, I don't remember what I set it to. I should probably maybe lower it for now. But after X amount of bits, it actually does make a 1-up sound. I think if you donate... Oh, actually, if I say it, you might do it. I don't know if I should tell you this information. But it actually does make a 1-up sound. But thank you so much, guys, for all of the bits. I greatly appreciate it. Okay, I think it stopped now. What is the bit limit? I don't know. What do you mean by bit limit? Like, I think you just keep on donating 1 bit, like, over and over again. I guess I should. I guess I know some streamers do say like their alerts and what you get for hitting certain things. I only did it for 2 things. Oh my god, Badoop Badoop. But I guess if you're doing it now and you're curious, for cheer, hold on, I'm actually looking at it right now. It's 1,000. Oh, when it's exactly 1,000? Oh, I should change that to when it's 1,000 or more. Yeah, it should make a 1-up sound. I thought it was fitting. Uh-oh. Thank you so much, Sai, for all the cheers. Oh my god, it doesn't stop. Yeah, that's a pretty filled bucket. That's like pretty filled. I never bid it on anyone before, so this is a good feature. I'm glad you like it. Hey, what's the 130 tag on your ears stand for? 130 tag is the amount of versions I made of this video. Actually. Thank you guys, thank you. Thank you so much for the hype train again. I greatly appreciate all the love. I think I said everyone's name at least once that participated. If I missed you, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Hi! Thank you guys. I should do something for when we reach the hype train. Oh, you completed it! Total of 10 subs and gifts. Choo choo! Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Alright, so back to the video commentary. Boo. I'm glad you guys like your emotes, by the way. I still with the new affiliate thing, I have to make 4 more emotes. I plan on making at least another lol to replace the 8-bit cow. And I want to do the holy cow. And there was one other one. Cow jam. Oh, I need a cow jam. Yeah, cow jam. But yeah, stay tuned for that. Oh yeah. The cow-woo. I don't know how to pronounce it. If I should call it kuwu or cow-wo? Cow-wo. Cow-wo, what's this? Yes, I want to make that emote. But yes. Video commentary. This is what we were doing. I covered a lot of the parts I wanted to talk about, I think. There is one big section I haven't gone over yet, but I'm just kind of skimming through at this point. I talked about the Pokemon Unite, division method. Oh, should I make a heart cow? Also, hi Vinyl. I don't think I said hi yet. Hi Vinyl, welcome. Let's see, division. I talked about the blur. I talked about the effect. Freaking, this had a lot of layers to it. Very complicated, but again, I used the same effects that I've been talking about. I guess the last and probably most interesting part of the video that I haven't talked about yet is this part, of course.
That meet Ponytina.
Okay, so when I did my smash thing, when I was editing this video, the Sora had just come out, and the trailer had just come out at least, so it was pretty fresh on my mind. Let me show you. I can show you the Photoshop. I don't know if I want to open the Photoshop file. My computer might die if I do that. This is probably enough. So, I showed... Actually, hold on. Let me pull up a nice big picture of this. When we were going over the script, we went over this Ponytina section. I think this was probably Tony's original idea. I don't remember whose idea was it. But when we talked about how we were using Ponytina as essentially our Mario and Tracer, etc., we wanted to do this intro of some kind. Initially, the thought was Borderlands, maybe. It's very common to do character intros and a lot of different things. Borderlands is one of the ones that came to mind, but I like Smash a lot, and because Sora had just come out, I wanted to do a Smash one. I also figured that it would be easier if I could do a Smash one, because I'm like, oh yeah, there's so many, I don't have this. It just has a picture somewhere. So many people do these Smash things all the time. I'm like, this has gotta be easy to find like a template. I could just slap it on there and it'll be good to go. Thing is, there are a lot of them out there. But they all suck. Very few of the, well, actually, literally none of the templates that I found really matched how they actually do it in their Smash reveal trailers. So let me pull up. I used the Sora one for reference because it was the most recent. So let me pull it up real quick. This is also an excuse to watch this trailer a million times. Here we go.
Let's go.
So I used this as a reference and I studied the crap out of this, right? So here's your reference image, the image that I used for this Smash section reveal. And then here's mine. It's pretty close. Pavlov, welcome. Thank you for the cheer. Next level image, this kind of went and created a whole dang template. Yes, exactly. I made a whole template. So in the future, if you actually want to do little pony videos, which we're considering doing, where we talk about each pony and their strengths and weaknesses and their moves, I basically didn't make a template. Right now, my Photoshop file, I can literally like, one of these is Ponytina herself. This one. Like, I can get rid of Ponytina and I can replace any pony there, or any character if I really wanted to do a meme video. So I actually went ahead and did make a whole template of this. I had to find font that was similar. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. I try to find anything that I could grab off the internet that fit like how Smash actually does it, and I couldn't find jack. So everything on this screen I actually made by hand, by myself. You won't brag that it's nicer than Tears used. I'll do it for him. Thanks, Yotes. I'm very proud of how this came out. It didn't take that long, but it took longer than I had initially wanted to. Also, thank you for the bless yous, or the Gesundheit. I tried to find font, and like there wasn't a Smash font, so I had to, well, not this kind of font at least. When I typed in Smash font, I get the font for the logos. So I had to find a font that I had to make it look like it. I had to color it and make the effects look exactly the same on the text. I literally took a Photoshop brush that I had already installed. It's like one of the default ones. And I Photoshopped the paint. The background, I actually did make, I made like little diamonds. You can barely see it, but there's diamonds in the background because over here, there was like little black diamonds at the top right. I had added the vignette. Ponytina, well, we just have the sprites for it, of course. And then I had to find a lens flare, and I added the lens flare. I had to change the color. I actually make it move down. I found a free to use stars in the background, and to make the stars move left and right. So everything on here is moving. This is why there's so many layers, because that's how they do it. Like, everything on this screen is moving. The text, the paint, the character, the background, everything is moving. So I wanted to duplicate that, and I actually had every single layer separated out in Photoshop. In Photoshop, I made the initial image of all of this, and then I saved out each like layer that I wanted to animate separately. I put it into the file, and I made them all move. I even added like a little bit of a 3D effect with the font moving left and right. So it's not just the position that's moving, it's the pitch and the yaw over here at the top right that are also moving. So yeah, this one a lot of work into it. But it came out really damn good, I think. And I'm really proud of it. And it's so funny because this is so extra for this video. It totally is. We don't need to do this at all. We just kind of say, here's Ponatina, and then we kind of go into like what she's about. This, in theory, has nothing to do with it, but it adds the extra flair to the video. Same with the warning at the beginning that I did. Like this whole thing. Like, I didn't have to do this whole extra scene for it. I could have just had generic B-roll if I wanted to. But I wanted this video to look extra nice. And the fact that this warning was added to the beginning of the video also helps. So that way, like, if you're watching and you get past the intro and you see this, you're like, oh, this is actually, like, visually interesting. And also this is kind of entertaining. This is kind of funny. So I went extra and above and beyond for these things, even though I didn't need to, but just because I wanted to. And I think it helps make the video a lot more interesting. Especially since, like, after a lot of this, we were talking a lot about math. So, and like, boom! Interesting visuals. Flex that creative muscle? Yeah, I flex it a lot in this video. But yeah, also this math warning was added in because when one of our friends watched it, she's like, there's too much math. And we're like, yeah, the video is going to be called Combat Calculations. But it was good input regardless, so we added this little warning that there was going to be math. I think we did a good job breaking it down and making it as simple as possible. Hopefully you guys agree. But yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about this video. All the major points. Oh, I do this thing because we don't have footage of this yet. A lot of videos do it where they have the image growing. I'll do it over here too. Doing this very simple thing, instead of just having a static image on screen, since you are watching a video, you want to watch things move. I always make the image like grow like this on screen slowly, and have like something in the background. If I don't even have like a video footage like I do here, I'll sometimes just blur the image behind it, and it'll look really good. It helps. It helps so much. When you're watching a video, you often don't want things to be static. In fact, the only time something is static is right here, when there's literally nothing on screen. But this helps build the anticipation of what happens next. Of bam, you know. But yes, I think that's everything I want to say about this video. I guess the only thing I haven't talked about was the music. All this music, as you would guess, is music from the actual Battle Gem Ponies game itself. And some of it just kind of felt right and what fit. I wish I could tell you how I picked the songs, but that one was like totally intuition. I just knew at the beginning I wanted something a little pumped up. So I went with one of the battle themes. I didn't want to start off with the main battle theme quite yet. I wanted to do that for later. And I figured doing the main trainer theme after showing Ponatina really helps pump you up for this section, I guess. Because like that's what Smash does right here. They have their main theme music they're playing. And then it goes into their battle music. So I did something very similar with this. And I've been using the same outro song for every video. The Pony Health Center. Because the Pony Health Center is apparently the first song that was created for this project. It's the first song that was written. And Tony was like, I want to use that for the outro. And I've been using that for the outro for every video I've done so far. I like it. It's become nice and welcoming. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you, Sonic, for being proud. Glad I made you proud. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I'm gonna drink some water. So I think that's about it for this video commentary. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, water is delicious. Okay. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little section. On my schedule, I was gonna play more Dark Souls after this, so I'm not ending the stream yet. Just gonna end this section. But if you guys have anything else, again, feel free to say anything. I really like how this video came out, and I hope you guys enjoy this stream. If you guys like this kind of stream, I can do it for like every like major video I do, or every video I'd want to. If you guys like this stuff, I mean, I think it's kind of interesting because I don't see too many people do this, where they just kind of go over a video they made or something. I've seen some YouTube videos on it, but I don't know. If you guys like it, I can do that. I could also do an art stream or something, because I have actually been doing some art. I could do that as well. Or I could just keep on playing games. But if you guys like it, I can go ahead and do more streams like this. I think this was fun. I also do like teaching and talking. I considered being a teacher at one point in my life. So this was one way to teach. Gotta go, buddy. Store's gotta close, and I got stuff to move when I get home. Have fun, cow. Don't die too much in Dark Souls. Thank you, Sonic. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you again for all of the bits and all the cheers that you did. I greatly appreciate it. Our stream has my vote, by the way. Cool, cool. I might do one. Before I made my most recent emote, my Anki emote, I didn't feel very confident, honestly, ironically, about my art skills. I'm gonna close out DaVinci. I hope nothing crashes. Okay, nothing crashed. Ironically, I didn't feel very confident about my art skills. Like, I don't know why. Compared to like my graphic design and my video editing, I'm actually very confident in those things, and I'm proud to show you my work. When it comes to art and drawing, I'm always just like, I don't know. I guess because I've seen a lot of videos, and I'm like, I could do better than that. I see graphics, and I'm like, oh, I could do better. I can make a better poster than that. But when it comes to art, a lot of the time I'm like, damn, dude, these freaking artists, like, how do they do that? Like, I'm always like wowed and such. But after making this most recent emote, I was like, this is actually really good. I'm actually very proud of how it came out. Like, I could always do better. But I guess since I am more confident with my drawing abilities, I wouldn't mind doing an art stream. I know art streams are very common. Actually, one of the reasons I bring it up is because while I was drawing the emote yesterday, I actually had other VTubers up, and I was watching their art streams. And it was actually really nice doing art while watching an art stream. In a sense, it was kind of motivating myself. And at the same time, it was nice and chill, because they were also playing some nice music. And sometimes they're playing music I haven't heard before, which was cool. So while I was doing emotes, I actually was watching Tiger, who was here, who might be here. Oh, actually, let me do a shout out for you. Since I have that command. There. Did I do it right? I did. Yeah, I was actually watching Tiger draw on her art stream, and it was nice having like her in the background doing like small chatting. So that was a fun experience. I might actually do that myself in the future. So yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about that. I'm gonna switch over to Dark Souls now. I think I'm going to take like about a 5-minute break. I drank a lot of water, so I'm gonna use the restroom, boot up Dark Souls, pray to the gods that it doesn't crash again. And yeah, I will be right back, guys.